I never want to be your age. Your age sucks to me. Questions you ask me, as you see, I try to avoid them. Ulay went naked to the office in Bologna to get the money because they didn't pay us. I mean, this is like real life stories who actually make to me interesting this look into past with something that really happened and you don't read them in the catalogs.
I studied every fucking mail between them. I read all the books of hers because Ulay really needed to protect his legacy. So I think this is also one part why we really like each other, because none of us is diva. We are just really friends.
Hello, dear listeners. This time we've got an exceptionally important episode, truly the peak of our career, on the occasion of the opening of the Art Vital exhibition at CUKRARNA gallery in Ljubljana. Jernej, Čuček, Gerbec and I, Maša, Žekš, had a short but very sweet conversation with Marina Abramović and Lena Pislak, two amazing women, both in some way former partners of Ulay, now working together as good friends and key contributors to this hugely important retrospective exhibition, dare we say, one of the most significant ever presented in Slovenia. Marina Abramović and Ulay, icons of performance art, met 50 years ago in Amsterdam, Marina from socialist Yugoslavia, Ulay from a post-war Germany. They became lovers and an artistic duo that shaped art history. The exhibition dwells into the period of their romantic and working relationships from 1976 till 1988. Amongst the expected art, it also represents never-before-seen archival material. The exhibition was created in close collaboration with the Ulay Foundation, which, after his death, is led by Lena Pislak, who was also his wife until his departure. You can find more about the exhibition, the works on display, as well as other interviews and articles by clicking through the links in the description of this special episode. Soon we will also be sharing a more in-depth conversations with exhibition's curators Alenka Gregorčič and Felicitas Thun-Hohenstein. In tudi slovenske podnapise bomo zrihtali zelo kmalu. What follows are both interviews, first with Marina and then with Lena, and, in the end, a bit of introspective segment that offers storytime moments, insights into the off-air dynamics, emotional undercurrents, and a reflective process of anxiety.
Lepo pozdravljeni. Poslušate kritiški posed.
Posladek.
Hello? You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Not to be insensitive because of your emotional moment, but I don't know if you remember 12 years ago on Ask Me Anything on Reddit, you mentioned that nobody ever asks you if you're happy. So
Ask me what there?
if you're happy. So I'd actually like to start with this, just to kind of have something mundane to start. So are you happy, like in general, with the exhibition and also
No, it's much more important. When you ask, are me happy? It's not about exhibition or did you have good hotel or food. It's about really, are you happy? This is the first time in my life, the last few years, I am happy. And that's incredible for me because honestly, I never want to be your age. Your age sucks to me. I was so much full insecurity, complications, difficulties, the projects I could not realize. It was always difficult. Just everything was so difficult and so many obstacles you have to pass. But then the older you get wisdom. That's something that you don't have your age. And now I'm not going to do any bullshit that I've been doing your time in your age because I understand life differently. 2 years ago, I almost died. I had the lung embolism. I was just lost consciousness. I was in hospital. I have the stream of blood going to my heart. 98% people die from this, like right away. I had 8 blood transfusion, 2 comas, and I was 9 weeks in the hospital in completely, the emergency care. I didn't know where I was with the mask and all that. Wow. After I wake up from this and after I didn't die, it was something really important that actually looked like I had a purpose why I didn't die. And then I started working like hell. This was really literally like hell. I was in that time preparing my exhibition in, Royal Academy, who took 7 years. And, I had to take a boat to England because I could not fly. So I took the boat. I will never do again. I didn't like the trip, but it took me 7 days to come to London, and then I stayed 5 months there till I could fly again. But that doesn't matter. Since then I didn't stop, because it's like every day is a precious, every day is a new, every day is actually a happy day. I really take the life like a kind of gift now, and I'm so happy. My problem with happiness that I always believe that art can be done only when you're unhappy or have problems, that you solve them. But now, how you work from happiness, that's dangerous. But I actually just done my new work, Balkan Erotic Epic, pure happiness and kind of work.
Yes,
I'm happy.
This was also our question.
So this is a long story, but...
So you never pick the easy ideas, you say. So is this because work has to be hard? This was also our question in a way of, so if the work is easy, does this makes bad art?
Yes, but you know, in downstairs on the car, it's written, art is easy, is a statement. But this was made in that time with Ulay and me when we have the most difficult life. And this was really like a metaphor and funny. It was not real. When I made the work called 7 Easy Pieces, it was not 7 easy pieces, absolutely, easy at all. So we made the fun with this word. But art doesn't need to be difficult. Art have to be honest and true. And art have to come deeply from your heart. That's the most important, really. I'm not interested in art that you have to read so many theories before you see something. I'm interested in art who hits you in your guts, straight. And then you look who is the artist, and then you look who artist is saying. But there have to be this emotional impact. That's how I see. But if you ask many artists, will be each of them with different question, different answer, for sure.
That's true.
If we go to this exhibition now, you say you don't deal and you don't like nostalgia.
I'm just crying like hell here.
That the past does not interest you, only the present and the future. Yet, the Art Vital exhibition is actually about the past. It's an archive, it's a comprehensive historical exhibition. It speaks about the past, and also journalists and other people always ask you about the past, about childhood Yugoslavia, your love, your dramas. So how do you strive toward the present while other people are excited about the past again and again? And how do you then approach an exhibition like this?
I really make fun. I tell the stories. I don't answer the right away the questions you ask me. As you see, I try to avoid them and just kind of have, when I do press conference and I talk to people, people are bored to hear always the same speeches over and over again. So I always try to find the angle. My story from life, when I tell you about chicken shit in the car, this was more interesting story to tell you than just talking about importance of that car in exhibition. Because this is a story you didn't know. You didn't know a story that I write in the book, how Ulay went naked to the office in Bologna to get the money because they didn't pay us. I mean, this is like real life stories who actually make to me interesting this look into past with something that really happened and you don't read them in the catalogs. I mean, honestly, this book have 15 writers. I didn't read any. I only asked my office to check the facts with the names. 15 writers have different 15 opinions about the work. I didn't listen to any of the tapes that Ulay and me made when we was in very young. The first BBC program, they asked me, but how you feel listening your young voice? I don't listen to my young voice because I didn't listen to start with. But these shows are necessary because this is how you actually you make the work. This work don't belong to me, belong to the public, belong to the study, belong to the certain history of performance art, which is really important contribution. This is why we are doing it. But my personal involvement is more doing it properly, really being really faithful to the quality of the video, quality of the drawings are not damaged, stuff like this, but also like now I went through this kind of non-emotional, let's say, press conference, and I go to see this piece called the tango piece, and I start crying unconditionally. I could not stop. Because this is something that moves me, because it's real, because these people are really performing something that we perform together, and that's really, that I can't fight. I mean, I am really emotional about this. I'm not able to reperform our works longer than 30 seconds. And I have in my institute, like the Rebecca Davis and Billy Zhao, who actually, to cast people with my very, very strong teaching them, supervision. They do my institute Abramović method, they are even more tougher than me because they're very, very precise, and they're right. They find the right people to do that. I'm not able to do this. I have the really, really emotional, because performance, as I say, is emotional. Documentation is not. Performance is.
I think this really speaks volumes on that you actually believe in your art and that you care about the art that you make.
So much.
I think this is really great. And I had this one idea when I was trying to prepare for the interview. I realized that all of the works that you make with Ulay, like there's a lot of small pieces and a lot of distinct artworks, but I would say that actually your work became like one big piece, a 12-year-long durational performance. This is actually even longer, actually still exists and is still going on, because there's still things that are happening to it, and still with this exhibition, new interpretations and also re-performances. So even in your manifesto is like no rehearsal, no predicted end, no repetition. And this is exactly what life is, right? There is no repetition, no rehearsal, nothing like that in
love,
life.
hate, and forgiveness is a part of it.
So my question here is, could you buy it that your work with Ulay is not like many small works, but actually the whole thing is one work?
I'm dreaming of somebody like collectors of Master Duchamp. Master Duchamp was so incredibly lucky that he actually has somebody who believes in his work and bought 40 pieces. He's the most important part of our. And then in Philadelphia donate to the museum. So you can see all work in one place. This is so rare. Collectors of my generation will rather have something that is a painting on the wall than this kind of things, because you need to have a young generation of collectors, somebody who really will believe in that. This could be ideal. But I will tell you, one of the most powerful parts of the show, because it's one museum have everything, is the Night Sea Crossing. Because Night Sea Crossing, everything is there. Everything we've done there is in this room, and including the car who is downstairs. But this is the piece. So, the more we can have people who can believe that this kind of work could be preserved. Like my dream is that institution or museum get archive, because otherwise what's the purpose? The archive will sit somewhere in my storage, and then who knows destiny of that. But that's really important. Visionary collectors have to be visionary as an artist doing it.
Would you say that this exhibition is like a healing process?
There's few things that really I try to avoid: healing, shamanism, New Age, guru.
What about all the crystals then?
This is transforming energy. Excuse me, I'm using different vocabulary.
Which is your favorite crystal?
Crystal is a very interesting thing. Crystals have to call you, by the way. You have to have room. I've been exposed to so many mines in Brazil and been there and get them out of the mines. For me, tourmaline, the black tourmaline who absorb all negativity, and when you cut tourmaline black, which is absolutely black, and you cut tiny little slice and put on the daylight, you see entire rainbow. Tourmaline consists entire spectrum of light. And, the crystal, the one who called me, that one, because they're simplified computers of the planet. Right now the scientists and the cosmology, they made tiny little crystal. They put all information of our entire humanity to the spaceship, to some, left to go into cosmos. So the crystal condense energy, condense light, condense knowledge. We have to just tune to the vibration.
That is something I kept kind of wondering also, because I hear you always talking about very positive about life. You're actually very caring and positive in your life kind of outlook, but at the same time your work is often rational, sometimes even painful. How do you kind of connect these two things?
Perfectly connected. Can't you get better? Because all aspects are there. But if you just be negative, right now, there's so much shit going on. Our planet is first over 8 million, which, planet can't hold us anymore because we are not good to them. Then the wars, the hunger. We are talking America, the 2 million people live in carton boxes with no any kind of health help. In the most difficult circumstances, literally. And we're next to the richest people in the world. And nobody give a shit. You have to really have hope that we, as a human being, if we change ourselves, we can change something. The hope is the only thing, and I really believe in that hope.
So yeah, we now need healing, not healing, but positive art, kind of.
I am always been,
with
the pain. But listen, that old thing about pain and danger, blah, blah, blah. Look at the old cultures. Every old culture is based on rituals who are extremely painful, extremely demanding to human body. And why they're doing it? It's not because they like pain or they're masochist or whatever reason. They're doing to really, door of pain is the secret door to open to different state of consciousness. And when you open right? that something else happens.
Yeah. One last thing. So if I decide now to go and steal one of the artworks here from the exhibition in kind of a homage to Ulay's work at that time, and also a commentary what can be done now, what would you think would happen if I won't go and steal something?
You mean in this show or generally?
Like Ulay stole the painting, if he would steal something here.
What you will go
and
here
what
to
would you think about it?
I will never give you this advice, ever. It's really interesting. There is a Kurosawa movie, Rashomon. There are 7 people in the forest. Each of them see killing somebody. They sit around the fire and they all talk what they saw. 7 people saw 7 different things. The show have to call you. You have to go to the show and see what you want to see. My idea, I want to finish this podcast with this. For example, my idea about art is like this. You are going to the museum and you're looking something. And you remember sometimes you go to a cafe and you have a very strange feeling that somebody's looking behind you and you turn and somebody's really behind you. So that strange feeling, it's kind of interesting. So you're looking at a piece of art, but you have a very strange feeling in the museum that something is behind you. And this you turn and there is a work of art. That energy who makes you turn is really a good work of art.
Thank you
very much. I think
I'll
think a lot about that. I think I'll keep thinking about this.
Thank you very much, Marina. We also wish this podcast, our conversation, would be long durational.
Okay, thank you.
So if you have time, we're ready for a 12-hour, 24-hour
Go
conversation.
and see what piece calls.
Thank you very much.
Read this, by the way.
Yes, take it.
Can you take one? It's amazing good.
Yes, he made it.
You're on a diet. You are not protein. You're on a diet.
And now, please listen also the interview with Lena Pislak. Okay, so the Ulay Foundation is of course a very important element in the making of this exhibition, but what about your personal input? In what ways did you contribute to the exhibition and what are your feelings and thoughts now that exhibition finally stands?
This is a very long question. It's about 12 years together since when Ulay arrived in Ljubljana and he came here to have his exhibition in Žekš Gallery in 2009. And from the Žekš Gallery to CUKRARNA here, it's, what is now, 16 years already? Oh my God. It's a big step. When I met Ulay, he was living in Amsterdam, not having much art, exhibitions or something. He didn't have gallery. And he also didn't care about he was not taking care enough about his archive. So when we met, at that time I was still art director. I had my own company. I left it and I also had to leave the art direction because you can't be art director to an artist. But I started to take care of his archive. First, the big works, we put in the professional storage. The small works, we moved here because we started to archive it. And also to put in the right, not only collections, but light years and everything. And what I'm seeing now here in Ljubljana, his chosen city, that the little pieces, little fragments of his archive fitting together with Marina's archive of their joint works is really something he would never imagine it would come together. But of course, it took a lot of time to archive, to digitalize, to take care of it. So, yeah.
What about this exhibition that now stands? What do you think about it?
I'm totally emotional, as Marina is emotional, especially because it was, I think, even when we became friends, maybe Ulay would not imagine that this in such a scale would ever happen. And that it would happen in Ljubljana, it's of course the biggest gift, I think also for Ljubljana. Because Marina is big and Ulay was never big. And since they were also quarreling, and she honestly said that she didn't like to open the joint works because this was in a way painful for her, but also she had to share, and she really preferred to do new works. It's something maybe even he would not imagine that this would happen. But it's really amazing from the cupboards, from her and from here, when the curators put this together, it makes such sense. And I think it also makes something very special. You see how they were thinking, how they were feeling, how they developed these amazing works.
So yeah, it's pretty clear that you are instrumental for the exhibition, for it to happen. And also Marina says that you are kind of one of the reasons, or the reason for her for final forgiveness and their renewed connection with Ulay. So I wonder, how do you see this kind of role of mediator that you're taking on? And if it annoys you to be kind of the third person in this relationship in a sense?
Not at all. This I must say, because I got, sorry, but after this talk that I had today, so many people, especially women, approached me and they said, how can I deal with this if I'm not jealous or something? And I wanted to say that, as I mentioned before, I really admired her and I admired their work. So I'm only grateful that they were together. I mean, of course, I'm grateful to Marina that she gave opportunity to my men to do these really amazing works together.
I mean, in the end, you wouldn't met him if all of that wouldn't happen.
Of course, of course. And what I really like to say from time to time is that I think two of the most important works that Ulay did before joint works are Foto and Irritation, the moment when he was stealing the Hitler's painting. For Foto, Marina was posing him in Istria dressed as Ulay, so he used her images to disappear. This happened in Amsterdam, but he used it's her on the pictures. And for Irritation, for the stealing of the painting, Marina was invited as a last solo performance. She went there to do the Thomas Leaps. And while Ulay was waiting in a hotel, how she will perform, he developed this idea of how he will steal the painting. I think he wanted to prove himself. I think that the love, and he wanted to prove himself in front of Marina. And also Marina was down in the basement of the New National Gallery shooting this moment when he was stealing. So it was dangerous for her as well. So they were already together, but this was his last solo action. I think it was just out of love that he had this really power to do this. It was dangerous. It was really dark time in Berlin, and he did it to show that he's...
I have a burning question with this specific work. I
Sure.
still don't know how he never got properly in trouble with it.
I can't tell, but he, in a way, he was German. He was super smart. He planned every step in advance. And one of the steps was also that I know that the stealing, the action, was on the 12th of December, which was Sunday. So he sent to the media on Friday or maybe even on Saturday description what he will do, and he also named it as an action. So he said it's not stealing; it is a proper action. So media, who of course at that time it was just a post, couldn't know about this before Monday. So the action went through. And also he was lucky that he had a good lawyer. So in a way there was just mixture of crazy artistic action.
Knowing
and
the right lawyer is also instrumental in a way.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, because I actually asked Marina what would happen if I go and steal one of the works. Because it's not, I mean, nowadays I would imagine it would be much harder in a way.
But, you know, I know at that time in Berlin there were, what was this fraction? Brigata Rossa was in Italy, Baader-Meinhof. There were police on the street. It was really dark period. Not as now the fancy Berlin. It was really not good period. And the same happened to me when I was in Bologna, where they did together with Marina in Poderabilia, being naked, standing naked to each other. In this museum, Mambo, in Bologna, they showed the atmosphere of that time, the famous radio that they listened, because there were tanks on the street. There were a lot of terrorism, a lot of dangerous things, and being naked at that time was also not that easy.
In Bologna?
In Bologna, yeah.
Interesting.
When they did already.
I know that they had troubles in the south, and there was at some point they needed an intervention from the military because of I think it was not the Ndrangheta, but the Gomorrah. But I didn't know that also in Bologna, which is very, very north.
Yeah, but Bologna was always very communistic. And I think they had a killing of one politician. Now we are moving, but it was really dark. I was surprised to see how really it was.
When we did our research, we could not find much about you before Ulay. So what were you mentioned a little bit before, but what were you doing, what were you involved in before meeting him, and what brought you two together in the first place?
Okay, I studied fashion design, but I stopped after a few years when I met my first husband, who was a graphic designer. And with him, I became art director. I was never a designer, but first project that we did together with Boris was Škuc's sign from Škuc's gallery that is still
Oh, that's quite an iconic thing to do.
Yeah, and then we had quite a good branding company. I did, for example, Piranske Soline is one of my projects. We did everything for Mobitel, but you're too young to remember.
Is this the Studio Lux?
Yes, yes. I was the co-owner.
That much we found, but not. Yeah. There's not a lot there to
I honestly always like to stay behind. I never exposed myself. This is actually the first time that I had to step behind, in front, because Ulay is not here anymore. It's absolutely not my way of how I am and who I am. I must say that Marina, in a way, taught me or gave me the strength to step in front. I was also this book that we made together with Marina. It's the first time that I'm signed somewhere, because I really enjoyed my being anonymous.
Tell us more about this book. So it's actually a photo book, right?
Yeah, this book, it started with the fascination of the curators who found unknown photos, very intimate photos of them together. And as Alenka said, she called me, we want to do the photo book. I was like, yeah, great. But I also missed some kind of point of the just good-looking photos. Mm-hmm. And then when we had this talk, very honest talk between me and Marina for the film of hers, film director Pablo Larraín is making a film about her life, which he will finish with her 3 funerals. And while shooting in Amsterdam, we started to talk about this encounter in India, and then also about, of course, hate. I must honestly say that I was a really important part also for hate. I studied every fucking mail between them. I read all the books of hers because Ulay really needed to protect his legacy. And Marina called me at that time, maybe she forgot now, she called me, I'm a Mother Teresa and Mata Hari for her. She was really, okay. But then it happened this India where we had time to forgive each other everything, and it was really something that we expose ourselves very honestly in front of the camera with Pablo. And this text, my daughter transcribed it, and it is to the point exactly as it happened. So no censorship, no nothing. And I will never forget when I said to her, let's move to forgiveness. And she said, no, give me a little more time. Let me be angry a little more. And she was crying, and she asked me for a piece of bread with butter to take some time that we could move to forgiveness. So it was really, it's so much passion, so much emotions that it was not easy even now, but it's still, yeah. But they really, literally, they totally forgiven each other. And I think they both changed. It helped both of them to be more in peace.
Yeah, from the interview on Louisiana channel, I really kind of got a feeling that also the whole lawsuit and everything that happened before was because of feelings and not so much of spite.
Yeah.
And I think they really, really needed to work things out. And apparently they needed some buffer in between, which was the lawyers and also you. Yeah. So, yeah, it makes sense. But life is really interesting how it turns out sometimes.
And I must say that I proposed that we do this, because I always like to listen to the anecdotes, how they were living. You know, I still admire, I think, to live 5 years in such a tiny little a van with a huge dog. It's not easy. But I suggested we do this, and it was fortunately last year when Ulay was still in good shape. And they had such they really work every morning, each of them, because they never, only at the end they were together, went to the studio, they talked honestly, and then at the end it was a period where they were talking to each other. And I think it's very important to keep these stories, because it's, I think it's beyond art. I think everyone could learn something from this. Yeah. And what I really like, you see that Ulay was really strong. When they speak to each other, they talk about the projects before, they were equal, or they really made it's not that Marina was always more, she made it much better after, but they were really equal when they were together.
Yeah, I also got that impression that they needed each other for those works. It was not like one idea and the other follows, but like kind of coming together from, as they kind of mythologize it as becoming the third.
That's why I find this film really important, because they just quietly talk to each other.
So what about you with Marina? You said before at the conference that you are actually a very good friends.
True.
Best friends. So our question is, what do you like to chat about or joke about, or do you go out to lunch? How often do you see each other or hear each other? Do you go to brunch and aperol?
For example, this time where we are together, I offered her, and she went to my massage. She's now totally in love with my two therapists. She went to my hairdresser because she wanted to have roots. I also colored her roots once when we were in upstate. So we are really, what I like to remember, when we were shooting this with the Louisiana Museum, we were there 3 weeks almost. And when everyone left, we stayed there for 2 or 3 more days, and we cleaned her kitchen. Me and her, we just opened all the drawers, cleaned everything. And she was so happy that she had one not mimosa. She had one drink with me. She never drinks, but she was so ecstatic, happy, and grateful that she had what is the one with the margarita. She had one margarita with me, and I think I never saw her drinking alcohol. But she really is so genuine. She's so. I see her also sometimes like a little kid. She's so happy of very simple things. I think she's missing this normal everyday life when you are such a diva, when you can't walk on the street. So I think this is also one part why we really like each other, because it's none of us is diva. We are just really friends. She asked me to buy these sunglasses. She said, the others are a little like this, so maybe this is better. And then I appreciate this, and these are the glasses that I bought because of Marina. It's my little...
The honesty.
Yeah. I mean, we really are very simple friends. It's not about fame, it's not about... But sometimes we call each other if we go somewhere. Will you be wearing red or white? I will be white today, you should go black. Something. That's all what we prepare. Otherwise, we try to be just spontaneous.
How often do you see each other?
It depends, you know. It's sometimes I feel like a groupie. She invited us for the Balkan Erotic. We met quite, of course, for the openings or for the opera. She also likes my partner, Igor. They are both half Montenegrin, and they both have amazing sense of humor. They like bad jokes, or dirty jokes, not bad. They like good jokes, but as dirty as possible. And with me, she always speaks English, but he is the only one that she speaks original, the Montenegrin.
Yeah, that was also my question. How do you communicate with each other? Because you could, in a way, also speak a little.
She said to me that she absolutely does not understand Slovene. When we were now at the premiere of the whole group, she said to me, not a word, because I do understand everything. I'm just not good in speaking. But she totally does not understand. So we speaking our own way of English.
I would like to go a bit back and actually ask you about the foundation. The timing is such that I'm not sure if Ulay was involved or not. How well was he at that time? So if you can tell us a bit if Ulay was involved in creating the foundation, and then also if you can tell us a bit about what do you actually do there and how does that job look like?
With a pleasure. So Ulay checked me a little bit. So I think we started a foundation when he saw that I can take care of his works. So I think it was 2012, maybe 3 years after we been together. He really wanted to put his works in a foundation that somebody would take care of his legacy. And his biggest fear, because he really didn't have anything in his life, he never bought himself an apartment. The only thing what he had was his works. So he really wanted that somebody would take care of it, what was left. And mainly and priority of the foundation is to take care of Ulay's work. So now we have, for example, 2 really good galleries. One is in China and the other is in Vienna. But the most important mission for me is to keep Ulay alive. I mean, to keep Ulay's dead, that things are really put in the right place, but also to keep him alive. And this is one of my biggest joy when I see how his work resonates with young people, with young audience. Even in China, we had exhibition with a young, very good curator, and he said how important it is for Chinese young artists to see that it's not about good-looking works, that it's about the content, the mission, So I must say that sometimes I still feel like at the beginning, because he really didn't build his artistic name. He called himself sometimes the most unknown,
something the least known,
the least known
famous artist,
unknown artist.
Yeah.
Oh no, the
most known unknown, something like this. Yeah.
Something like
We'll
this,
find it out and put it in the doobly-doo.
Insert, please, here. Because he really, sometimes he felt like he fucked up his career, but he couldn't do it different. He was very straightforward. So when he felt to do something, he did it. So, for example, he was working, I think 2009 beginning, he was working with young people from Ramallah and Jerusalem. Every day he was passing the border to work. At that time he was working on water issue, and he worked with both of the groups together, and he managed to get one exhibition together from both sides, even though...
But this famousness or not famousness of Ulay is interesting for me, because I have a bit of a photography background.
Yeah.
And in this kind of circle, he's actually quite known in a way, also because he had access to one of the few huge Polaroid cameras, which I don't know how many there were.
Yeah, but he never, when he did something, he just walked away. He didn't know how to put it in the right collection or how to... For example, here you have also amazing, they are just unbelievable big Polaroids. Well, they are signed by both because at that time, obviously, they collaborated. But when he did something for himself, in a way he was shy. In a way he was like maybe not confident enough. So sometimes he just kept the works rolled. Or maybe he just didn't find the right... maybe he had to find me. I don't know.
That's the one,
yeah,
I think.
Maybe. It's incredible. So I'm dealing in a way with like pioneering, which is really strange after so many years.
You are like a main side character.
Bravo. And it's really strange for me that I had to open my voice, but for others it's easier.
Zaključimo? Thank you very much, Lena, for your answers and chat.
Yeah.
And time.
Yes.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening. For those tuning in for the first time, you've been listening to �كرitiški posladek, essentially a Slovenian podcast where two young cultural workers talk about visual art. We hope you'll check out more episodes or share our podcast with your art friends. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you asked how everything came to be, so we need all of the backstory, which is long.
I meant one sentence.
We know Mojca. She got us the interview. Done.
Yeah. Thank you, Mojca. You rule.
So, yeah. Basically, after a lot of panicking and anxiety attacks, we tried to figure out how to do this interview. There was ups and downs also before we kind of got to talk with Marina, just because we
Mostly
had like...
downs.
You'll have 20 minutes with Marina, then you'll have 20, then the next day, no, you'll have 20 minutes with Marina and Lena, then again just with Marina, then like it was like changes and all of that before the actual day. And then the day came. So this was like on Friday, right? Yeah, on Friday. And we got to CUKRARNA. We had like, you'll have the press conference at 11, you'll have this, there was going to be a performance, there's going to be like a guided tour, there's going to be all of those kind of prepared things that were prepared for the news outlets. And then also like our time slot when we can talk with Marina and with Lena. And then...
We wanted to prepare the other table, but they said no, because this was the table for food. And we wanted to have a smaller table because they have a big table, and big table is not so good because you cannot be closer to your conversation partner. That's why we detached one table to make we had our own table.
Yeah, basically they kind of set us in the CUKRARNA offices, which are like this one big floor, kind of open plan offices for all of
with
the
a lot
the
of
stuff.
echoing
Yes,
and a lot of
huge room.
from the air conditioning,
Yeah.
but they turned it down, so it was better.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, it was actually a very nice space. So
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, we really hope for the smaller table in the kitchen area, but so yeah, then we
We
were
really
thrown
hoped
out.
for like a studio, but you know.
Yeah. Anyways, then we took one of the tables, made that happen, like put everything up, like microphones, microphone stands, camera, iPhone to kind of do like a time lapse and all of that, like prepared everything so that when Marina comes, we can start recording and all of that.
Like fast, because we only had like 15 minutes sharp,
Yeah, we also
which
had
is like nothing. We usually do like 1 hour and a
Plus.
half to 2 hour long conversations that we edit. So
I think we average like 3 hours for a guest, all in all. Like
all in all, yeah, but
like
the
they
filming
come,
time,
we say
2
hello,
hours.
then all of that, then we start filming. There's like 1 hour or up to 2 hours of conversation, and then it's also like another half an hour plus of decompressing with the guests, and then go home. Thank you.
Yeah. So 15 minutes is like nothing. I was freaking out because of this shortage.
Okay.
Then
so,
we went to press conference that started at 11.
which was a great thing because also we heard a lot of things that we maybe didn't really knew exactly because
Yeah, I
it
know,
was
but it's
kind of
always
unknown.
the same things. A lot of thanks, a lot of thank you, a lot of gratitude, a lot of...
But there was also
How do you
something
say?
about the shows.
Zahvalni govori.
Yeah,
A lot
like,
of
thank you,
zahvalni
thank you,
govori.
thank you, sponsors,
and all of the
thank
sponsors
you,
and
all of the people involved, thank you.
all of the curators,
Yeah.
all of the artists and all of the friendships and all of the love and forgiveness and Ulay and stuff like that. And then time for questions that were, some were good, but some were
I was
a bit
very
cringe.
happy. I was very happy to hear all of those questions because none of them were on our list. I know they were all like bad in comparison
Yeah,
to ours
obviously,
in a
but
way.
you know, when like we did our research, we watched a lot of Marina's interviews and read about her and stuff. So at some point, you found out things are repeating themselves over and over and over
it's
again.
also what you want to get kind of from the interview. Like our podcast, in its essence, it's not about the things that you normally ask. We kind of want to go deeper and to go in behind the scenes.
Yeah,
So-
but that's very hard to do in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and
yeah, but-
obviously
but
also
also
with an
that's-
artist that's been asked
Also at a
everything.
press conference, you wouldn't ask these kind of questions because it doesn't make sense.
Sure, yeah.
That was my point why I was mentioning that they were so different in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. After that, we are rushed back up into the office spaces because they said, okay, Marina is coming. They will send her upstairs. There was a performance happening. I
Yeah,
think
the
it was the
tango.
No Tango, right? Yeah, with the two Slovenian performers. And yeah, we go upstairs. We go in the room, kind of check if everything is working correctly, and then wait for Marina to come. And then Marina comes, and then what happens?
She threw us out of the room.
Why?
I mean, she came and she said, oh my God, the performance downstairs is so good. Please go check it out. And we were like, can we just... And he was, no, go check it out now.
Yeah, just go for 2 minutes, go 2 minutes, check it out. You have to see it.
She very
It's like,
politely threw us out of the room.
she really wanted us also to experience that performance because we said that we couldn't watch it because we were rushing upstairs. And she really wanted us to kind of see it. So then we went out to kind of see it.
Yeah, so we went out and saw the performance. We came back, but then it turned out that we will have to wait a bit longer because, you know, the whole thing was messy and emotional and
Marina,
shit hit the fan, so we had to wait for everything to cool down.
So Marina got really emotional. The performance really touched her. I think it was like a very honest and nice reaction to that. So I think that was something that had to happen, but nobody planned for it.
Yeah, it's legit.
Schedule kind of-
because the schedule was fucked. But, you know, Orf journalist then was before
after
us.
I think half an hour passed at least before.
Yeah,
we kind
then
of
the
could get
Orf
back in.
journalist was on, and then we waited outside, and then we were on. So we went inside.
Yeah, it was our turn.
Yeah, sorry, my cat is meowing. It's fine. Yeah, and so Marina came, and we were like in a rush because still 15 minutes. So yeah.
It was trying to kind of recall how it all went through, because I think we didn't start recording right away. Marina came, she said hi.
I mean, we did a few formalities, obviously, but we were still in a rush because every minute was like precious to us
Then
because we had so many questions for her.
Then
ready.
we sit down, and then Marina started the interview with questioning us a couple of things, like just kind of...
Yeah, she was like, who are you?
Yeah, I think that was like a great kind of starting. Like, okay, I think she got charge of the interview at the beginning, like to kind of understand what's happening, why are we there, and who we are, and all of that. And then we explain everything, and she was like instantly very happy because we are kind of kids.
Yeah, she was like, okay, kids, I love young people. Young people are the greatest. But she also said that she would not be our age. Our age sucks. So
yeah, I mean, like, I guess she like kids now, but she is beyond that.
Yeah,
now.
not kids, but just like young people.
Yeah, I mean, like kids, younger people.
Young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are younger people now, Jernej.
Yeah. I'm taking that every time.
So yeah, and then we just gave her food to eat, the cardamom cinnamon rolls that Jernej baked one day before. We gave her that, and then we started to ask her questions because we had like...
Actually, the cinnamon rolls were already on the table, and while we were outside, somebody had some of it, because I've seen like a half-eaten roll on the plate.
Yeah.
So apparently she had them already before we came back. She really liked them. Like, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, she really liked them, and she also took them to go after. So
I mean, she
apparently
cleared
nobody
the whole
gave
plate.
her anything to eat. Like, girl was hungry, man.
After the interview, she took all of them, like every last one on the plate. She asked if she can take them. I said I have more, but like somebody was also mentioning that she was on a diet, so I was like not taking them out just in case, not to ruin her
like
diet.
Jernej is very proud that his cooking made Marina happy.
I mean,
So
obviously.
that's very nice.
It's always nice when somebody compliments your cooking.
Yeah, maybe she was just starving.
That was also my idea, but I'm taking any credit I can get.
So anyway, we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions for her, and then 6 more questions that were like rapid questions from our listeners that I somehow calculated that could be 15 or 20 minutes, but then obviously we did not manage to get through all the questions.
I mean, we almost stuck to the script. Like, most of the questions went in the same order. There was a couple of odd ones. There was a couple of changes, not that much.
A lot went as scripted, but also Marina somehow did not answer half of it.
I mean, Marina has a way like to kind of go in.
I mean, she said
directions.
it like she was like, "You can see I am avoiding your questions," so, and then continued with something else. So
yeah, I mean, but
kudos to sincerity. But yeah, we really tried to we did our questions like really based on somewhat to make them professional, but also kind of not the most basic ones.
Not to repeat the same things over and over again on every outlet that has a chance to talk with her.
Yeah, but it is what it is. For example, we wanted also to ask her about artists being in very good physical condition to make performance art, about how she maintains to be so fabulous and healthy and energetic. And
how does even one kind of has the health capacity to do such long performances?
Does she do sports with sports or whatever, like now or in the past?
How she stays in such good physical health? In that sense?
Like my original idea was about to bring up the Konstrakta song from Serbia from a few years ago in Eurovision, like umetnica mora biti zdrava, like
the artist has to be healthy.
Yeah, like in corpore sano, but to be like, so the female artist doing this physically not an easy work, so how to make it, how do you don't die, girl, because like I'm in pain all the time, like my back hurts and shit, so how do you do it by not fucking dying? But there was no time for this. And also we wanted to elaborate more on how this whole exhibition, Art Vital, is now like a huge piece, art piece, like a whole exhibition is an art performance. What does she think about that?
We asked her
that,
she
but
kind of
it's like we did not
avoided
get
it
an
slightly.
answer. Yeah.
She did kind of respond, but
And also about healing process, like is this exhibition a healing process for her or for Lena? But
I mean, you asked that.
yeah, but then
And
we
then
somehow managed to get to crystals.
No, the word healing was the problem.
Yeah, like she said, she does not like the word healing or guru or new age. But then I was like, okay, what about fucking crystals? Because she's like,
I mean, I
obsessed
think
with
that was
crystals.
like a great moment from you, like to find this kind of intuition to jump in this question just about that time.
Yeah, and
Like,
also today
that was not an easy thing to kind of incorporate in our
I was just
conversation.
waiting for my moment about crystals.
Yeah, but you find the right moment. That was like so naturally put in there. And then also her response was fucking amazing. I think this was like one of those questions where she actually didn't give you like a boiler kind of
Yeah. She
response.
actually told me which was her favorite crystal and why, and what's up with the crystals, and what is the difference between new age bullshit and crystals according to her. So I thought this was very nice. And also today at the opening, we saw that there is one big crystal piece.
What was it again? It's from the Night Sea Crossing. It's one of the artifacts shown there. I don't remember what was the crystal. You remember what was it? Kamena strela? Was it that?
Yeah.
What's that in English?
Kamena strela.
Like-
The lightning. It's the most common fucking
I mean,
crystal.
we'll put it down in the descriptions,
Yeah,
or maybe
so-
just kind of re-record
But that's
that
not her
small piece.
favorite, so it does not matter.
No.
But,
It's just like
you
it
know,
was there.
So, but
No, I don't think she has a favorite crystal. I think
No,
that
no.
was. I think she
the
said
one
what.
who called her,
Yeah, at the moment.
I don't sure. Okay.
I think that changes.
But you know, the thing was that we also had some questions prepared for her that were asked by our listeners. So, but we did not get to them like at all. It was like a question about her skincare line, like in a way that because her skincare line is marketed as a part of Abramović method. So, like if somebody buys a product and applies it to their face, are they in a way tasting drops of her artwork? Like this was my question. A lot of people were interested about her skincare line and also about Massimo Dutti line. So this was, for example, one question, or maybe like, is she dating anyone? I wanted to tell me about her dog Alba.
We were told that she's dating somebody,
Yeah, but
and
it's
that is
different.
pretty,
Like
pretty
you want
much
her
known.
to tell her.
Yeah,
To tell
I
you,
know,
but
I know.
you know, like about her dog Alba, that
Their dog.
she and Ulay, that they have a dog like in this big Citroen, and this dog was once a puppy but then grew to be a big dog, and I wanted to know about the dog. I think she would be very happy to talk about the dog.
I think there was other questions that we had, especially in these rapid fire questions that could be interesting.
Yeah, also about Kim Kardashian, like
Yeah.
would you go to lunch with Kim Kardashian again? Does she listen to podcasts?
But we got to tell her the one question both of us had, or actually not a question, more of a statement, that both of us wished that this was like a long durational performance
yeah.
kind of interview.
Yeah, but I think that at this point she already tuned out.
Yeah.
But, you know, also I really wanted her to tell us a joke, any joke, because
Yeah.
apparently she likes to tell
But
jokes.
I'd love to actually speak to her like for a long period of time, like to kind of really kind of get to the disarming part, to kind of just really
Yeah, Marina.
talk about things.
So we can talk about like 24 hours about things. When you run out of all the basic answers you have, then we can talk about dogs and crystals and bad jokes.
I mean, yeah, maybe even about coffee and jezvas and stuff, like all of
Yeah,
the
we gave
things
her
that make
coffee.
life meaningful in a different way.
Jernej brought bar cafe, a little bar cafe bag, and she was very happy because she was like, yes, I will put this in jezva in New York.
Yeah.
So I think that's nice. She will remember when she comes home.
I was hoping that she was kind of getting the kind of gesture of this kind of exchange of coffee when you go to somebody's house, but didn't went that way. But she was still happy with it, which is, I'll take it. It was very nice, I think. Made her happy. I kind of like the fact that we brought her just food and things, and she was happy with that. Like, they're not expensive gifts by any means, and they're not like luxuries.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff.
were told that
And
she
it's
does
really
not
nice.
like gifts, but we brought her things anyway. As we said, coffee and cinnamon rolls. Yeah, apparently she liked them
Swedish
both.
cinnamon rolls.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
apparently she liked them both, but yeah, I think that, I don't know, 𝐔𝐥𝐚𝐲, did you bring her anything? Just asking.
I'd like to mention something
Sorry,
else
Žiga.
about, if we're talking about this background thing. All this time, like before we kind of started talking with Marina, or actually like, let's say half an hour before, we weren't sure if Lena's gonna be there, because there was at some point there was a request of Lena being together with Marina, and we kind of gambled with the idea of anyway kind of talking more with Marina, even if there's gonna be Lena present, and then focus on Lena, which would be fine, and we would explain it. Might have been awkward if it happened that way, but then in the end we actually had like separate interviews with each of them, and I mean, so we actually could have like a very long, also meaningful conversation with Lena, not just with Marina.
Yeah, Lena was amazing. I really like that we have time with Lena, and also we were not timed. We were not so time restricted. So with Marina, we only had like 15 minutes, and then she had to do the interview with BBC, and Lena stayed with us, and we could like chat more peacefully and more relaxed and in a way. And it was amazing because Lena is also very chill and very nice and very talkative in a way, and I think we had a great time.
Yeah, so I think we had a great time with her, and I really kind of enjoyed also talking with her about her own life and not just about Ulay's and Marina parts of her life. Also to kind of go with what she did before. I mean, she is important in this story as Ulay's wife and also as somebody who brought them together, but she is also a person on her own that kind of brings something else to the whole dynamic. And I think it's important to kind of understand also where she comes from and what she does, and to kind of get a sense of who she actually is. Like, why was her energy so important in all of this, right?
Yeah, I think it's very important the way she said like, yeah, all the people, especially women, always ask me like, how can I do this? Like, I'm his ex-wife and I'm working with his ex-girlfriend, and like I'm doing this whole exhibition about their great big love. And yeah, in a way it's like a drama triangle, it's like a very intense
I think
telenovela,
Lena,
but it's in a way when they talk to you, you see that apparently they really had enough time to reconcile this, and they came to the agreement that they are in peace with it. And now that Marina and Lena are very good friends, and you see them, it looks
genuine, yeah,
genuine. So,
but I also think the fact that when we started talking with Lena and we kind of floated this idea, it really kind of shows that, I mean, we are talking about a love triangle, and everybody's kind of making this image in their heads of how Ulay's and Marina love is kind of present in a way, but in reality, Marina and Ulay have separated quite a while ago. Their relationship went through a lot of things before kind of coming to a friendship. Lena's kind of place in this came after Marina was basically out of Ulay's life in a way. So the triangle was not really existing at any kind of point of time. That kind of connection was not really there. It's just something like talking about an ex happened in the past. So maybe we are also kind of imagining some problems that don't
we are
really
overreacting, maybe.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, I also think that I know that this is very important to them, the whole exhibition and the whole Ulay part, but every intro in this exhibition is like crazy life.
It's interesting because even at the news press conference, Marina mentioned that the hate part was all very important.
Yeah.
So like the break of their love was also very instrumental in a way for the whole story to kind of come to this point where it is now. I mean, the story would have been different if they stayed together. That's for sure.
Well, so anyway, Lena was amazing. And so our next step is to interview the curators, both of them, Elenka and Felicitas. This thing will happen soon. And I think this is also crucial to our podcast because we often speak with artists, but in this case, I think curatorial process and approach is very important, and I think we can get a lot of different information from them.
I mean, Marina and the curators always speak that Marina always says in all of these kind of talks that this exhibition she kind of gave free reign to the curators. Like, this is not something that was
Yeah,
her
I
work
think
in
the
that sense.
authors are actually curators. And Lena.
The
Lena
authors
and
of the
curators.
Yeah, the curators.
Marina is just accidentally being the subject.
I mean, the authors of the exhibition are definitely the curators in
Yeah.
this way. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
It's just...
Is their
it
work-
just happens that it's about
Is-
Marina, you
is
know,
their work
and Ulay,
there, but it's not their
yeah. I think
exhibition
it's
in
a
that
lot
sense.
about production and all the technicians and all the architects and designers and curating and also the management of institutions. So I think this is the objectively most important part, but obviously
There's
Marina
also
is...
the whole archive and all of the things that Marina said herself that she never went through them, which is something that apparently somebody else had to do.
Yeah, it was the Sydney and
Katie?
Chatty. Katie?
Caitlin.
It's not Caitlin.
Katie?
No, Chatty.
You have the email.
Is it Chatty?
No, Caitlin.
It's not Caitlin.
It's something Katie.
Pizda ti mat.
Ow. Is it Caitlin?
It's Cathy. C-A-T-H-Y.
Kathy. Okay,
It's
thank
Cathy.
you.
So Cathy and Sydney are the ones who are also the stars. So I think that
Katie is such a warm person.
Huh?
Katie was a very warm person to meet.
Yes.
Like very energetic.
No
very,
matter how
very
many
fun.
times Marina says that it's actually not about her, but it's about everything else, everyone are still going to throw themselves after Marina. This is normal and we totally understand, but that's why we decided that we have to do a hopefully longer than 15 minutes conversation with curators.
I mean, now that we've seen the exhibition and all of it, which is a really well put together exhibition, I think to kind of understand how it was put together, what were the choices, why were some things omitted, why were some things selected. I also think, if I remember correctly from one of the texts, that some of the things were omitted for the exhibition and some things were omitted for the catalog. So you don't have the same things in the catalog as in the exhibitions. So if you want to have like the whole picture of everything that was put in this exhibition, you have to see both. So I think in this case, it's going to be really crucial to understand like what and how it all happened to really speak to both of the curators. I think this is going to kind of bring a much deeper understanding of it.
Yes, I agree. I look forward to it.
Yeah. I think we can also kind of tell everyone to subscribe at this point to kind of wait for the next conversation.
Cringe. Ja, to je to, no?
Anyways, we'll post soon, hopefully.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Lena. Hope to see you again. Fucking hvala, Mojca. Tear for this exhibition. Like, Lena, curators, Mojca, Marina, all the technicians, the dog.
You've missed Ulay, I think.
Ulay is with us in spirit in all the tears.
Okay.
And also Sydney and Cathy.
Yeah. Sydney and Katie were very instrumental to kind of put everything together. Yeah. And the Lyon Museum who lent most of the things.
Yeah, obviously, all the stuff.
So yeah, thank you everyone, thank you and goodbye. See you soon.
Eto to. Zdaj bom editala to 5 let.
Ne, to mi je ful všeč.
Jaz hočem
lepo reči.
to danes ven, ker je danes rojstni dan od Marine in Ulaya.
Vse najboljše.
Ja, 3-krat smo peli vse najboljše na otvoritvi.
Vse najboljše.
Misliš, da je bilo Marini to všeč? Ali je bila sam tako fuck my life?
Ne vem, Marina je rekla kao, da ona dva nista marala rojstnih dnevov, zdaj ne vem, mogoče jih zdaj mara.
Pač kaj bi ti naredil, če bi ti cela cukrarna pela, pa ti prinesel sem huge, tako okrašeno torto, pa tako hiperventiliraš, ker si na robu joka hvalu.
Ti bi bil pa sam doma na kavču in bral knjigo.
Ja. Ne, tudi knjige ne bi bral, sam na kavču. To je to.